today's workout is roughly 16 minutes long. It's called Pike's Peak. We've got 4 different stations, again, each either focusing on abs or shoulders mostly. We're gonna do 45 seconds of work with about 15 seconds of rest or transition time if you wanna put it that way. So first station, we've got chair dips. For this one, you can either use 1 or 2 chairs, and I'll show both methods. We've got traveling planks. It helps if you do have some kind of object or marker, it doesn't have to be big, just to travel from side to side. We're gonna do straight leg sit-ups, and I'll show you what those are. And then we've got either handstand push-up or pike push-up, so whichever you prefer to do today. All right, so let's go over each of those movements. So first for the chair dips, you can either have 2 chairs or 1 chair. So if you got 2 chairs, you're gonna set them roughly just outside shoulder width apart so that you're able to fit in between the chairs without your hands being too wide. You're gonna place both palms on the chairs, and you wanna make sure that you're not sitting too far in front of the chair. You do wanna have your hands roughly next to you, and you're gonna lower your hips so that your triceps are about parallel, and then raise. So if you're on the heels, this is gonna be a little bit harder. If you're flat-footed, this will usually make it a little bit easier because then you can press more of, you can use more of the weight of your feet to press and help you press up from that. The other option is to do 1 chair dip. So if you just have 1 chair available, you're going to place your hands slightly behind you. You're gonna have your hips right up against the edge of the chair. Again, you can either be on the heels or flat-footed, and you're lowering so that your upper arm is about parallel, and then you're pressing up. So the good thing about the chair is that you can also grab it sideways along the edge if it becomes a lot for your wrists. So hopefully you'll find a variation that works for you on the dips. And again, it's 45 seconds of work, so you're just getting in as much as you can. Next, we've got traveling planks. So for this one, you're gonna need some kind of object that you can travel side to side. Let me go grab that object right now. I'll just use this little plate, for example. So you're gonna have it on the floor, and you're gonna place both hands starting on one side of the object. You're gonna come into a plank position, and you can always scale this by coming to the knees. If you do ever come to the knees on a plank, you wanna make sure that your hips are not piking upward, but you're actually lowering the hips so that it's all in the same line from shoulders to knees. So your traveling plank, you're gonna walk both hands to one side of the object, and that's 1 rep, and then walking both hands other. So you'll find that that's gonna be a reach. Now if you need to take a couple of steps and do that to get to the other side, then go ahead and do that too. So your rep is counted when your hands reach the other side. So each time you get to the other side, and that's 1, and that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so you can, the wider you reach, obviously the further the distance. So seeing if you can get your hands, fairly close within a few inches of each other, and that'll make less steps to go from side to side. Next, we've got straight leg sit-ups. So again, you're gonna need plenty of floor space for this one. So this straight leg sit-up version is a little bit easier. It's just like the roly-polies that we did for the warm-up. So you're gonna be tucking your knees in to help give you a little bit of momentum. So instead of keeping your feet in butterfly formation on the floor, you do have the option to lift your knees up and pull, push, kind of aim the back of your feet towards the floor. So you're gonna be rolling back and then straight leg up into a pike. So it's a little bit of a more dynamic version of a sit-up versus our regular butterfly version. I find sometimes a little bit easier if you don't have that ab mat behind your back. And now if you want, you can always scale it upwards to regular sit-ups. I find this kind of helps with that really cool kipping motion that you'll get if you're doing kipping handstand push-ups. So lastly, we've got our handstand push-up or pike push-up station. So I'll start with the easiest version first, which is our pike push-up. So our pike push-up, you do want to end like you're in downward dog with your head pressed towards your feet. So that's the most important thing, is that when you're in your top of your pike position, that we're not keeping horizontal to the floor, but you're trying to make this as vertical as possible. So your arms and your head should be in line with each other. And usually your ears go past your arms, okay? So you want to make sure that your arms are behind the ears at the top. We're going to aim the crown of the head, so you're going to keep your chin tucked. And that's the key with this one, is to tuck your chin in rather than allow your chin to look forward. So you want to keep your gaze at your toes, tuck the chin, elbows back, and then press the head through the window. So that's our basic pike push-up. And then you can scale up by going to a chair. You can have your knees elevated. And this usually adds just a little bit more verticality. So making a tripod, so you should always see your hands out of the corners of your eyes. If your hands are in front of your head up here, then you're not going to be able to get the most effective position with your shoulders. So always be able to see your hands out of the corner of your eyes. Tuck your chin, look at the legs of the chair the whole time, and then pressing the head through the window. So like you're going back to downward dog, trying to press your face towards the edge of the chair, or like try to kiss the chair on the way up. So kiss to the chair, head down, kiss the chair, vice versa. And then lastly, we have our actual handstand push-ups. If you're going to do those today, you can kip these if you would like. So coming into a handstand, you're going to come down into your tripod, making sure, again, the hands are visible from the corner of your eyes. And in the kip, you want to make sure that your hips stay against the wall. So you're bringing knees all the way down, almost to elbows, so as far as the hips are going to travel away, because then that's where you lose all the power. So really trying to keep that back flat. Pointing the undersides of the feet upwards. So if you point the toes up, it's going to be really hard to kick. So you want to make sure that you're flexing the toes towards the face, and then you explode the hips, and then press upwards, and then lower, explode the hips. And then as you straighten the hips, so you're thinking about kicking straight violently, just like in those straight leg sit-ups, then you're going to get that power to go in the handstand push-up. So those are the movements for today. And then again, it's 4 rounds, roughly 16 minutes of work. So we'll see you in the next video where we're actually going to go over the workout.